Assalamu alaikum.
Now, Islam, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here in the great state of Texas, at least my part of it.
Right, right.
Yep.
I'm on the way to the office, brother.
Well, this is a good thing. It means you got work.
Man, tomorrow's the deadline for corporate
Hmm.
returns and
Yep.
partnerships, and it was like April 15th, from April 14th on us.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that stuff.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Like Salam.
Well, looking at Islam.
They just tell me where to sign. It's basically it.
I didn't catch that voice. Who was that? Sister Martha?
It's Sister
Now
Martha,
you know
yes.
your sister.
I'm sorry. I'm driving, so
Okay. You didn't have time to really zoom in on the hearing, right?
nah, I can't see nothing. I'm driving, and I thought it was your voice. I was wondering, didn't want to call the wrong name.
Yeah, down here in Florida, down here with all the gators and the control and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Florida's a lot like Texas. You guys
Meaning,
really, meaning you really have like four different states within one state. Southeast Florida around Miami, Lauderdale, the Keys is 100% different than the Redneck Riviera. It's a lot different than North Florida. It's definitely different than Central Florida. And then you got, well, maybe five, because you guys in Tampa, St. Pete, you got
yeah,
your own unique
we're like the
thing
thumb
going
on your
on there.
hand.
Yeah, I mean, but you guys are so different even than those other areas of Florida that I mentioned. Very different.
Yes, yes. The and you're right because Spain and France owned Florida at one time,
Hmm.
and one of them owned it twice. I think it was Spain, but the Haiti having its history, but Haiti, you have a lot of Haitians now collected in Pompano Beach, and that's where I
Right.
grew up. And it's
Hmm.
like a little Haiti, but with African Americans too. So it's like a congenial kind of thing. Everybody gets along like a natural behavior habitat. Uh,
Have you ever been to Little Haiti, Miami?
yes, but more Cuba is more
Well,
concentrated.
yeah, there's that too. I mean, I used to own a house down there. A friend and I owned a house in Little Cuba, but I mean, there's a pretty sizable Haitian population in Miami.
Right, right, and Cubans more so are over in Tampa area. They ran actually. Ybor City is a
Hmm.
whole town in and of itself. It was the first existing town. It actually paid the first $100 to make Tampa become Tampa.
Okay, interesting. And Tampa, the name
Some
Tampa is a Native American name. Is that not? Is that correct? Is it named after the river or Native American tribe or something?
Well, I now that I need to look up because I thought it was Tampa. Like dealing with, they used to be the Tampa cigars.
Yeah, but
Still
that's
do
that's Cuban. That's a
right, but
Cuban,
that's what I'm
old
saying.
Cuban brand.
Right, and I thought it came out of that because Ybor is called Ybor City. But alhamdulillah, but I'll have to look that up with Edward.
Okay. But what's the name of the river, the predominant river that runs through there?
Mm. And now I've got to look it up because it's the coming out from the skyway. I'm trying to think of that waterway, if that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I've only
Uh,
been through there once. I just remember seeing what looked like a large body of water that I would
Yeah.
assume that it was a river. This it flowed into the bay and then it went on.
Mm-hmm. And now it's eluding me. You think when you're studying your own history of your town and state,
Hmm.
but I'll definitely get it right now too.
Yeah, it's like in Texas, one of the major rivers in Texas is the Colorado River.
Oh,
And, I mean, yeah, it's huge. I grew up, 2 miles from one of the branches of the Colorado River where I grew up.
Hillsborough. That's what it's called. Hillsborough River.
Okay. Okay.
Hillsborough, and that's like in Tampa too, in the central part of Tampa. You got the
Gotcha.
hills. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I
Nice.
thought that
Welcome,
Hillsborough Canal.
Imam Omar, Imam Tariq, Imam Rabbani. Welcome to all you guys.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum.
Assalamu
Walaikum
alaikum.
Alaikum
salam.
assalam.
Assalamu
Hope
alaikum,
you
brother.
guys are having a wonderful Sunday so far.
Mm-hmm.
So, Imam Tariq, I did not get a chance to be alive on your program yesterday. From your perspective,
And
how did it
I was
go? How comfortable were you?
Uh,
well. I
well, thank you. I was, well, I felt that Allah was guiding all of us that was on the call.
well, I guess
Good.
as
And,
a viewer and listener, I guess
okay,
I can assess it best, right?
thank you. Go right ahead, sister. Go right ahead.
It was dynamic. It was dynamic because it was um information. It was first the true human spirit, and able to his ability to maneuver or what you call it when you have your technical self ready, and but he was able to what's the word when you swing it, not swing it, but he was able to change at the in the flow and
Okay.
move right into giving information. And the information was very, very what you call improvised. Yes, he was able to improvise. Thank you, my granddaughter.
Okay.
What, what, what,
And
what,
at
if
the
I
same
may, if I may, just real quick, Martha, I was unable to show my PowerPoints due to some technical
correct.
problems that I was having. So I just did the reading from it. Yes, but again, thank you, Martha. Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're more than welcome. And two, acknowledging, bringing forth evidence of those who support or to lend strength to the entrepreneurship or the businesses that support the effort. And I'm sure that will grow, inshallah. Um, and then the inter only one thing if I access it on this point, the sister Rashida kept saying, "Can you slow down on giving the phone numbers?"
See what it was. What it was. I was in my mode of being on Facebook because I was used to doing them on Facebook, and I was only doing them for an hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes, and I had to remind myself they're giving me 2 hours, and so I was still in that 1 hour mode, trying to respect people's
Hmm.
time because I'm a time conscious person myself, and so that's what happened on that. So,
Yeah,
And then
that
you
I can
definitely
understand, man.
he definitely provided the proof that making the Quran your business partner. That stood out greatly.
Excellent.
and I
Well,
must add something else again. That presentation that I put together, titled "Having or Using the Quran," I forget exactly how I have it worded, as your business partner, came from a lecture that I was reading or hearing from Imam Warren bin Muhammad, where he said, "When I conclude here today, I want you to feel that you have the Quran as your business partner." And so that's
hmm.
why I named that particular piece, that show all the products and services in the Quran, or anything that's addressing business. And then we know the longest verses in Baqarah talks about it. Uh, and so that's why again I gave that particular a PowerPoint that title, uh, from that.
Excellent. Well, fortunately, I think YouTube captured it, so I'll have a chance to go back and view it, which would be great. So I don't know who Imam Talib is I think the only regular that's not here. So Imam Tariq, if you would please, would you open us up this morning?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
I mean,
I mean, well, this is could be a good week. We have the meeting with, why is the name escaping me? CU Collaborate. The people that work with credit unions and prospective credit unions. We have that meeting set up this Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 o'clock Central Time. You guys should have gotten an email from me regarding that with the link in it for joining the meeting, those who can make it. I will send it out again, probably Tuesday and Wednesday morning, just to make sure that anybody that wants to log into that meeting has the opportunity to do so. And if you are planning to be in the meeting, credit union talk can be kind of wide ranging, as some of us have discovered. So if there's some specific things that you want to ask, I would jot them down and have them ready. These people are usually pretty good. They've been around for a while and they've seen a lot of different situations. So any questions that you have, just be prepared and don't hesitate to toss them into the million. So that being set up, the next thing is, and Rabani, I'm going to probably ask this question directly of you. Have you had a chance yet to speak to Dr. Ali about as next a follow-up meeting with he and his group or any of that party?
No, no, I haven't because I've been traveling. Last week I was traveling, and I'm here up in Chester, Pennsylvania, at my sister's house now, trying to get
Yeah.
situated. So it was difficult to do anything but what was really pressing, you know.
Okay.
So
No problem.
um, so the I can easily contact him and or leave him a message for a meeting or you know, we have, I guess the ideas or the questions that would be generated from this conference call um, or the meeting on Wednesday, I should say, right?
Right.
That should be
Yeah.
sufficient for me to contact him and tell him whatever information we gather from that, and to see if we can, since we'll have some questions, we can then, and the interaction with the consultants there, we can easily develop questions of our own, and then see how we can merge, put together a package
Right.
to
Okay.
maximize the efforts that we've made and the efforts that they've made, you know. So that's where I am now. I'm not in my place of operation in South Carolina. So, but
Well, very good. Well, hopefully the meeting on Wednesday goes well enough as far as information transfer that we can make a decision on whether or not that's something, the Mississippi situation, something we feel strongly about pursuing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay.
So those are the two things that were foremost on my mind. There's a lot going on in the world, so the floor is open to any other discussion. Anything that somebody feels that we need to cover, take care of. Now's the time for that.
Okay. Martha Nyla here. Question, and I pray I'm not behind the eight ball here. In reference to the format that we'll be presenting on AM 360, Omar, I guess directed to you.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Martha, can you remind me again?
Okay, we were going to be doing a series, I believe, on AM 360 on, and if we're at that point. I just didn't want to miss it on financial education.
Oh, yes, yes. So that's going to happen in January, Sister Martha.
Okay,
I will have all of the material
very
ready
good.
for a launch in January. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, that'll be right at the seventh month too. We'll be in the seventh month of on the here's your calendar. Good, very good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
And how, Omar, since I'm talking on here, how is everything looking as far as the publication, all that stuff? I mean, I know I probably asked about this too much, but is it basically done?
Yes. So the publication is pretty much done.
Okay.
That process is complete.
Okay.
I did send the PDF to Imam Talib for him to work with to get it on the website. So we're in the process of doing that. I don't know where he's quite at in making that happen. But the PDF version of that workbook being downloaded is in the works. So we can check in with him when he's available to give us an update on where that is in that process. For the webinar module content development, we are on
Oh, it says
track
here. Oh,
for that being launched in January. I have already completed module 1, have started the content development for module 2. So we're really on track for all 5 modules being developed, reviewed, and vetted by the January launch.
That sounds really good. We're way ahead of the game there. So that's impressive. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have been doing research on what platforms make the most sense to use, and I am still my mind is on 2 of them that I have researched. One is StreamYard, and the other is Zoom Webinar. Both
Right.
of them have a
Yeah.
fee, and the
Mm-hmm.
reason I chose both of those platforms is that when people join, it automatically mutes them, so they can't
Right.
talk. You don't get that disruption when people join, etc. So you have more control on the front end on how you set the webinar up, both in Zoom Webinar and StreamYard. Now,
Okay.
StreamYard does allow you to have a ticker that can float across the screen. You can have different things that you can promote and advertise and direct people to various resources, right? But the cool thing about Zoom Webinar is that they have this new feature now where you can actually place the resources it's a resource tab actually, and people can when they're in that webinar they can access the resource right there as you're speaking about it. So you can put the exercises there, etc. So you don't have to worry about people didn't download information and these type of things, but it'd be right there in the webinar. So I'm leaning more towards Zoom Webinar because of that feature,
Mm-hmm.
but recognizing that you won't have that ticker that can go across and make announcements. You just have to make the announcement yourself.
Okay. So I know I'm going to assume that Zoom webinar also allows you to simulcast on YouTube.
Yes, it does. I think all of us know that when you create a Zoom link, you can also link it to YouTube,
Okay.
and it can stream live,
Right.
and or when you finish in the product downloads, it automatically uploads to YouTube. So
Okay.
that's already baked into the Zoom functionality.
Okay. What about StreamYard?
StreamYard now, I haven't played around with. I believe StreamYard can do the same thing because
Okay.
I know a lot of people that do podcasts. That's what they use. They use StreamYard, and then they just put their material later on onto YouTube, or it's uploaded automatically to YouTube. I'm pretty sure it has the same kind of functionality.
Okay. All right.
But I'm still digging, brother Edward, to kind of see which one is the best fit for where we are, and then if we need to grow to another platform, we can.
Okay. Have
And I'm
we,
doing it. Yeah, go ahead.
no, and this is more directed toward the entire group, is, have, has anybody besides me given any thought to um, sponsors potentially? And not anything excessive, but if we're doing basically financial literacy seminars, webinars, of including maybe getting sponsorship from some financial concerns.
I mean, that's a
And
good avenue to pursue, Edward, to be honest with you.
yeah, so I was thinking about Wilshire, I think is it Wilshire? Yeah, I think it's Wilshire National Bank, which is an Islamic bank. We've got 2 or 3 branches here in the United States. I'm familiar with them. They usually were a participant in our Muslim business conferences in North Carolina. They always either sent the president, or I think one year even the chairman of the board came and gave a presentation. It was in Greensboro. I can't remember exactly, but I'm thinking about organizations or financial institutions like that might want, for a very small sum of money, probably much less than they pay for traditional advertising, to be a sponsor.
What's the name of that bank again?
I think it's Wilshire. I think it's Wilshire National Bank,
Okay.
based out of Los Angeles. They've got
Wilshire.
Wilshire.
Wil-
Well, I mean, I
okay.
say Wilshire because that's what they say in
Okay.
California. But yeah,
Okay.
Wilshire, same thing. I
Hmm.
know that they have participated in a lot of our business conferences over the years.
And you know this English language is something, huh?
Depends on where you're from, man. Depends on where you're
Exactly.
from.
Wilshire.
So Edward, that brings to my mind, how can we approach other financial institutions, particularly around their community reinvestment
Hmm.
at responsibilities? Each bank, each financial institution has that responsibility as required under the federal, regulation
Right.
that determines what their interest rate will be when they borrow money from the Fed.
Hmm.
That CCSA score that they get either reduces it, or it costs them more money to be able to borrow from the government.
Right.
Um, this could potentially be a program that we pitch to them
Hmm.
for their CSA investment.
Yeah.
So
And
that's another angle.
Yeah, and I would say that we might even want to reach out to FDIC. FDIC does a tremendous amount of educational stuff. They've got this whole litany of educational courses monthly that is targeting both children, you know, mostly under the age of 18. You know, it's talking to their parents, but it's also talking to the children about savings and financial, money management. And they do a thing where they send out information for older Americans to help them better manage Social Security, plan for it. We might be able to get something from FDIC. I don't know what their turnaround cycle is like, but you know, I would think it'd be worth a shot.
Yeah, we need to
Let
put a
them
package
see our
together.
yeah, put a package together, let them see our material,
Yeah,
see if
exactly.
they'll whatever. Maybe they just promote it. They don't give us any money. They just promote it. But I think we should take a run at it, especially since we are a healthy 501(c)(3), right? I mean, just take advantage of it. And
Yeah, and I was wondering too, and Everett, you probably can give more of a direction in regards to this. Maybe even before we launch in January, um, and this may require us signing an NDA with a particular consultant, whoever we
mhm.
bring on board. And I'm talking about someone that is in the financial area. Maybe Brother Hood,
Yeah, I was
from
thinking about him.
Atlanta,
Yes, yes.
and giving him the material and just getting an outside assessment of the material and see if we need to strengthen up some areas, maybe think about something differently. But I would love to have that kind of like independent assessment of the modules when we complete it,
Yeah,
from someone that's in the financial space, and then I would feel confident that we're heading in the right track, to be able to launch that fully.
yeah. I'm with you. I'm a big believer in stress testing everything. So yeah, if he's willing to do that, uh, and maybe even some other brothers and sisters that are part of our community or outside, yeah, I'm all
Yeah.
for that.
Do you have a relationship with him to be able to reach out to see if he's
Yes,
interested in something like that, and then maybe
yes.
getting a proposal from him about what the charge would be, so we can have some time to look at that and maybe raise the funds
Hmm.
and etc. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'll reach out to him. I will send him some of our preliminary stuff, maybe. Or would you rather, since we don't have an NDA, that I'll just reach out to him blind the first time and we'll go from there.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Talib. I see you there, but you're not
Oh, here we
talking.
go. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I couldn't find the button for a minute, and
Yeah.
something happened to my Gmail account, so I had to access it directly through Zoom because I couldn't get to the Gmail that gives me the link. But anyway, I'm here. And greetings to all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Salam.
assalamu.
Read.
Alaikum assalam.
Sister
Rahmatullah.
Martha,
Yes,
Sister
sir.
Martha, you put something in the chat.
Rahmatullah.
Did Because recently, this is within the last 60 to 90 days,
Uh-huh.
the chairman of Wilshire Bank, who was really the founder of the bank, passed away.
Mm.
Are you saying that they changed their name?
Yes, they changed it to Bancorp. I was just looking it up. Something just crossed my mind. And I was thinking about community investment, and
Mm-hmm.
it says Korean backed, Korean immigrants established it, and but they do help with low to moderate income families and community investments by affordable housing and businesses. So not specifically Black Americans. That's the language I used, and but it does help the communities with financial literacy. And I thought of that as when you
I apologize. Yeah, that was what's throwing me off. I'm wrong. It's not Wilshire. It's
okay.
the Bank of Whittier.
Okay.
Whittier.
Okay.
Bank of Whittier.
But just looking at this does help because their name now is Bank of Hope.
Yeah, that would be the one that I mistakenly put into the conversation. Because
Okay.
I've also, when you said Korean, that made me think that I had made a mistake.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, the one I'm thinking about that is Islamic is the Bank of Whittier.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it shows
Alhamdulillah.
up. Bank of Whittier, NA,
Mm, yes.
Reba Free Banking Solutions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the website is in their name, and yeah, they've got a location in Whittier, California.
Richardson,
Now,
Texas.
and there's also a Bank of Whittier in Richardson, Texas. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this particular bank, Burke and Herbert, is claiming some affiliation with the Bank of Whittier because they show up under the Bank of Whittier's location.
But
And
where are
it's
they?
and they're in McLean, Virginia.
Okay. That's very
Right.
possible then. That is
They're
very possible.
right down the street from me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I could
very
be there in
possible.
about 20 minutes.
So, but what the conversation we were having about the Imam Talib is about reaching out to them, reaching out to Brother Hud Williams, maybe reaching out to some other financial institutions, even the FDIC, about them being sponsors of our webinars starting January.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So Omar and I were kind of tossing ideas back and forth in this conversation about that. No decisions have been made, but we're going to start pecking around and see what kind of response we get.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I know people that's good at that. I'm not one of them, but it always amazes me, um, when people hold these events and they get sponsorships
Mm-hmm.
to help offset the cost.
Right.
Maybe not all of it, but enough to free up the whoever's doing the event. It frees up some of their capital
Mm-hmm.
or to do other things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll certainly support it. I think one of the things that any of us can do that perhaps lacks the skill to 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 attract sponsors is at least we can start listing some of the benefits that the sponsor is could gain
Right.
by affiliating themselves with us. Um, yeah, I'll
Mm-hmm.
start thinking of it in that regard, so that when you all are planning, meetings to approach these sponsors, we can at least have some talking points on the benefits of association.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm on board with that.
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right.
Now we've got a meeting next week
This Wednesday, 10 o'clock
17th.
Eastern time. Yeah, the 17th.
Okay.
And I think you should have the meeting info in your inbox, but I will definitely send that back out again.
Um,
Probably on Tuesday and again, even on Wednesday morning, just to make sure that
okay.
everybody has it.
I'm going to put, let me see. I'm going to put my personal email into the chat because, like I told you, when I got up, when I came to get on board, something that happened to my Gmail account where it was trying to force me to set up like a new Gmail account for some reason.
Hmm.
And when I put in the old one, they said, well, that's already taken. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know it is.
Wow.
That's the one I'm trying to get to. So I'm going to put my AOL account into the chat. And I mean, anyone is free to use it. I just want to make sure that I get that reminder.
Yeah.
And the strange thing is, now I can go to my phone and pull it up, but it's just on my computer that I'm having this problem. So, but anyway, 17th, be 10 o'clock my time.
Correct.
I'm only going to be able to stay 30 minutes.
Have your questions ready then, so you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm only going to be able to stay 30 minutes because another meeting came up just last week that I need to be in attendance. But I'll be on Wednesday at 10 o'clock my time, inshallah.
Okay.
So we can scratch this off of our to-do list. Okay, let's see. Okay, Martha, you put in the Bank of Whittier information. Okay, all right. I'm just looking at it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Only
look
because it
at
goes
it
straight to
myself.
the CEO of the bank.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna look
brother,
at
if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember the date, but I'm 100% sure he passed. He had his janaza recently, within the last 60 days, I think.
And one thing I was reading about the financial savings, it was saying savings account, and then this showed the trust, but the savings, it says it's REBA based.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That
That's
has
great.
that has actually stifled their growth, believe it or not, because the Muslims won't bank with them, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's a conundrum that people talk about it, but the reality of the situation is to try to do it, to be competitive as a bank and do it is very, very hard. It's very difficult. It requires really a different type of, slightly different type of accounting and reporting schedule, and to really be profitable and to grow, man, um, you got to charge them outrageous fees sometimes, and that turns people off.
Mhm. Yeah, well,
But I mean, they're still viable. They've been open for a number of years. I mean, while.
right.
So something's keeping them viable. And, even in our discussions, we've talked about the possibility of doing both, Western banking and Islamic banking. to give people a choice. So I'm definitely not going to poo-poo what they're attempting to do, but I do know it's a tough road to hoe.
Mhm. Yeah, they're 38. They're 38 years old.
Yeah.
And so the
So
question becomes who's being stubborn in this process? If you
well, I mean,
if you're telling me that Muslims don't support them,
yeah, man, they
uh,
don't. They
you
don't.
know, I mean, but you know, I could say the same about some of my business operation. I have, and I know other Muslims that if we had to depend on the community, we'd have been out of business years ago.
Hmm.
You know, so and I'm not just speaking of my business. I mean, I know other successful Muslim-owned businesses that you know it's like the community does not want to participate in our success.
Hey, Tyler, quit talking about my business, man.
Now,
Yes, sir. It's spread around the country.
It's all over the country, boy.
now,
Yes,
now,
sir.
I said that a long time ago. I would not start a business dependent upon Muslims.
Nope, that's
No
right.
way. Not a
I'm
chance.
just being real now. Nothing, hey, what can I say?
That's right. You man,
and you know, it's oh, subhanAllah.
no, go ahead, please.
Martha Nyla, I was thinking, you know how you see someone driving a brand new car, and when you see them pull up in front of their home, and it's a nice home, everything around it is nice. You think in your mind, oh, they're rich.
Mhm.
So when you think of businesses, especially now, I'm thinking on myself. I'm thinking of what is really deep down in my mind when I hear of other of Muslim that I know and get in contact with, and they're in business. You know what my mind goes to is that, oh, they've not totally made it, but they're okay. And so my little won't make a break. And I think that's in the back of my mind. I don't consciously think of it, but now that I'm speaking about it, that's what I think. I now have to be honest with myself. I see them. I admire the tenacity that it takes. I admire everything, and I admire the fact that they're doing it. Now, what am I gonna do? So I
Right.
stop right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, the way that I think about it and the way that I act is there are certain things that I purchase, and I know the relative value of those things that I purchase that I know that I'm going to have. And I'm just going to toss up a softball: laundry detergent, right? So we have an Islamic company that produces laundry detergent, and I've used that laundry detergent, and it works extremely well, and
Mhm.
it's within the price range of all quote unquote major brands. So it's a no-brainer to have a subscription to them with them to buy their laundry detergent.
That
It's not,
true.
I don't have to, wring my hands or, oh my God, what am I going to do? Am I going to buy them? Am I going to buy Tide? No, it's a regular. I buy their laundry detergent. And that's an easy one because they'll ship it to me. I don't have to go across town. Let's say I don't live in a predominantly African American neighborhood. I don't have to go cross town 35 minutes, in big city traffic to get to the business. They make it easy. It is more difficult sometimes if you're going to have to go out of your way to go do business with an African American or Muslim owned company organization when you're passing 45 businesses that sell the same thing, right? And some of them might be in your neighborhood. So it kind of comes down to just what is your commitment, and even possibly what is their commitment to you. All right. If I want halal meats, then I know I'm close enough to there's an entire neighborhood around one of the larger masjids here that there's nothing but halal restaurants and halal meat shops and different things. So if you go to Juma on Friday there or around there, you can do all your shopping for the next month if you wanted to of buying meats and stuff like that. You can stock up. Very, very convenient. Very smart way of doing it. I think I haven't been to the Atlanta Masjid in a number of years, but I think what they're trying to do around there is something very similar. It's make it very convenient for the community to shop with the community, right? And you're going to get people outside the community, hopefully, that also come to shop. But we have to, in business, we have to think about our delivery systems, even to our own fellow worshipers. How convenient do we make it? How easy it is for them to do business with us? And I know that's an issue sometimes, just that part of it, because you put people in a position where they definitely have to go through a cost benefit analysis to determine whether or not they want to do business with you. So I think people have to be cognizant of that.
Wow. Yeah, that was True Detergent.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That it's fantastic.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I used to say I wouldn't start a business based on Muslims. I had to change that tune a little bit now and say I wouldn't do any business based on African American Muslims. Because I have a lot of immigrant Muslim clients.
Right. Right.
And I can understand it before. Maybe, me used to being the imam, and I guess they didn't want the imam know how much money they were making.
They're a little short. You think they're gonna be a little short on zakat, brother? Is that what?
Yeah, they probably said, we don't want them to know we ain't paying zakat. Oh man, what can you say?
Right. Well,
But that's that is also that's part of the with me, that's part of the whole idea of when you start to truly have the ability to develop full-fledged community life, instead of, convenience stores in your neighborhood that are selling cigarettes and pork byproducts and all that stuff, is that you have greengrocers that sell halal meats and different things like that in your neighborhood instead, right? So it makes it very easy, especially for us as believers, to go and shop at those places. And we know other African Americans who live in those neighborhoods. It's just going to the store for them. I mean, at some point in time, they'll realize the benefit of buying clean, eating clean food, halal foods, and stuff like that. It'll dawn on them. But for them, it's just going to the store. Hey, take this $20, go to the store and buy such and such. That's it, right? But we need to create those environments for ourselves, given the opportunity to do so. And it takes a little, man, it takes some courage, because one of the things that you're taught as an entrepreneur is if you're going to open like a storefront, your storefront needs to be where there's a certain amount of income per rooftop, so you can make enough money to survive. I mean, I know people in retail business who follow like grocery stores. Like they'll try to pull the data from Kroger or Vons or any of these big grocery store chains that are putting in a big store somewhere and try to get as close to that as they can, because the
Right.
grocery business is such a narrow margin business that they don't open a grocery store where they're not sure that those millions of dollars that they're putting into just the building before they put anything in the building,
Right.
that they're going to be able to turn a profit on all that, right? Because their
Right.
margins are super small in the grocery business.
Right.
So if they're going to be there, there's money.
Right. And they follow.
So,
They follow each other. So
yes, exactly.
if there's a mall somewhere with a Whole Foods, somewhere in that mall is going to be a Starbucks.
A Starbucks, there's going to be, and if you're smart, if you had a tailor shop, your tailor shop's going to be across the street,
Right.
or
Right.
your dry cleaners are going to be close by, and
And then
your little restaurant.
T-Mobile will come in,
Yeah, all of
and
that,
Panera Bread.
all of that. Yeah, I mean, any developer knows that if you can sell that to a big box,
Right. You get
that everybody else is coming. I mean, all the other space you have the lease is gone in the
Right.
next 3 weeks.
Right. Yep. Yep. That's how it works.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's one of the things that has drawn African American businesses, especially where people are putting in a bit of their own money, like enough of their own money that it's scary to them that they could lose it, is that they're moving those businesses outside the African American community because they know that there's not enough income per rooftop
Mm-hmm.
for them to make what they need to make
That's
to
right.
keep that store open, keep their mortgage paid, so on and so forth. They may still live in the hood. They may drive 30 minutes to open their own store, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they have to have their store in a place that's going to make bucks,
Yep.
and that doesn't help our community because we don't see that. We don't see successful businesses a lot of times in our communities. In many cases, because those stores are not in our community, they're not employing young people, especially from our communities, right?
Yep.
So it's man,
And
it's a tough one.
our ways of communication has lessened because it was always the Black businesses that you were able to go in and post community announcements or
Correct. Yeah.
something that might be happening, in the neighborhood,
Right.
and I mean that's where you had and those businesses had a community board. So
Yeah, a lot of
you
times,
could
yeah.
you could walk into a cleaners and post a sign about a fish fry that you do every Friday between 4 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And one noticeable thing. Oh, I apologize, Tyler. Were you?
No,
Okay.
I'm done.
And on that line, I've been studying on about the MSPs, the managed service providers, and the IT specialists that are. It's like a whole world of animal men. And I'm thinking of our businesses. Should we collectively come together and be in business? One doing whatever. Uh, Support system that could be there. You got the lawn service guy, you got the air conditioner guy, and a person, whatever, and the IT services, all of them. Now, on the other side of that, I noticed there was a whole period from the 80s, late 80s to the 90s, where most African Americans took their businesses to the mall, like you were saying, following the traffic of the buyers, but they had those what you call it, those little things in the
Kiosk.
center of the mall.
Kiosk.
what was it?
Mm-hmm.
Kiosks.
Kiosk,
Okay.
right.
Yes, they did that kind of, with the not so much with nails, but eyebrows and whatever, skincare. And then I saw a lot of the Muslim were coming with the telephone set up,
Right.
and they had their kiosk in the middle of the malls. Now, I've seen the Muslim communities merge out of there and get into a strip, where an
Mm-hmm.
existing strip area, but the African Americans weren't able to follow suit with that.
Well, let me
It,
let me tell
go
you
ahead, Adam.
about. I'm sorry.
No,
One
go ahead, Adam.
one of my clients, I might have told you, but anyway, his son came to my. He was out of the country, and he had his son bring me the monthly paperwork. And his son bragged. He said he just got his real estate license. I said, great. The guy might be 18. When he was back in this week, and he got a job with a multi-million-dollar real estate company, right? Gave him a job. Now, what she's trying to do is get access to his parents, his cousin, his uncle. So these guys are buying strip malls now, the Yemenis.
Mm-hmm.
So they're buying a strip mall out in the rural part of where here, and they're buying a strip mall, and they sign a no interest loan with the owner, probably some Caucasian, and they have a shop in the strip mall that they just bought. And the shop guy, the tobacco shop or whatever, pays the mortgage with his rent. This is rent he was spending anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the rent is going for buying the building that the store is in.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yes.
So the son told me, he was bragging, man. Yeah, I bought I'm getting my real estate license. Pretty soon he's gonna have his own clientele on his relatives, right?
Right. Right.
So I'm just showing you how they're evolving and moving
Right.
by doing it that way.
Yeah. The Filipino community does very much the same thing.
So which one?
Here, the Filipinos.
Well, yeah, everybody does it.
Yeah. I mean, except us.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
we could never get the leases signed. There would be so much argument over the lease that you just finally throw your hands up and go find you some white people to lease the space.
Right.
I mean, it would be over $15. It'd be over $15 a month, or whatever.
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
trying to get over on me. $15 extra dollars, man. Take that $15 off. It's ridiculous.
Now, I
But
noticed with the Jamaican community, I've gone in and asked for support for our organization, and they will lovingly smile and look and say they're going to get with the owners, where the owner was who was speaking, co-owner. But and may Allah bless her because she's since transitioned. But we had a very good relationship. But there was that line that they would not cross.
What
They
line
will
is that?
let you come and they will let you put your advertisement, like Talib was speaking about, galore, but they're not going to give you a dollar amount to
yeah,
contribute to the effort.
Yeah.
the two most generous non-African American groups that I've ever dealt with, and we dealt with them, especially when Imam Yaqui was here. We dealt with them. Man, it seemed like every project, every community service thing we were trying to do, we would reach out to these groups, and they would fall all over themselves to help us. And that was the Jewish community and the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Mm.
They could hardly hold themselves back from trying to support what we were trying to do. And that was to me, that was eye-opening, even though I'd had decent relations with Jewish people. I mean, I'd never had a bad relationship with a Jewish person. And I really didn't know many people from LDS. But that was surprising, and that still exists to this day in a lot of the interfaith stuff that goes on here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, of when especially African American Muslims are attempting to do something community-wise, that those two groups step up even more so than Protestant churches. And forget the African American churches; they're never going to lift a finger. You can get them basically, but here, other parts of the country, you guys may have different experiences, but here, no, they turn their back on you and act like you're not there.
Yeah, that's true. I know every year we do an interfaith Thanksgiving service, right? And guess who never shows up? African American.
African American Christians.
And so one year, the guys, the white religious groups asked me, Adam, how come your people don't come to this? I said, well, hey, we got our issues, you know. But the Church of Latter-day Saints, they're trying to get acceptance. You got to remember now, they were always looked at as weird from the Christians.
Right.
So they
they're kind of in the same boat we are, a little bit.
No, definitely not.
You don't think so? They're not as high up the chain as we are?
No. Well, no. In today's environment, brother, it's not about where you are so much so is that their discrimination runs so deep. You know what I mean? The white discrimination runs so deep, everybody's catching it up, you know?
Okay.
And that's the thing. And even with the Jews, I mean, I was asked to one Jewish, there was a female rabbi, and she got an award from, what was it, 40 under 40, every year newspaper honors 40 people under 40 years old, right? So she got an award, but the event was held on Friday evening. You know, their Sabbath starts at sunset.
Right.
So she asked me if I would go accept the award for her in her behalf. Now here's a rabbi asking a Muslim to go take the award in her behalf. You know they were wondering what's going on here. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah.
But that's the issues that we're dealing with, and so I can understand what you're saying about them being that way, but there's probably a reason for that.
Well, I mean, I understand 100% why the Jewish leadership, those people who are really cognizant of history, who are students of history, intelligent people in the Jewish community, I know why they try to bond with people. That's it. That's their ultimate protection against getting wiped out, right?
Right.
Is to have bonds of friendship, because there just aren't very many people of Jewish faith tradition in the world. I mean, there's more people in New York City than there are Jewish people in the world. So it's incumbent upon them to bond with other people to show that their humanity and their willingness to work with you on things that advance humanity, at the same time allowing themselves to have their separation. right? Their rights and things like that they don't invite you into. And I think that's fine. And we do that. We don't do it to the extent that they do. In
Right.
some cases, I almost say we should to have that distinctive culture. But it is what it is. I think sometimes, and this is just me, and you can project this any way you want to. I think sometimes we try too hard. To be liked, to be accepted, all that. I think we try too hard. And I think people view it as weakness.
Okay.
Especially when the evidence of standing on your own 2 feet is not prevalent.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's especially for those of you who were in the Nation of Islam. I wasn't. A lot of the stances that I would say are positive about the Nation of Islam were that at least seeming ability that you're standing on your own 2 feet, you could take care of your own, that you didn't need outside stuff. Now we know that there was some outside help here and there, but for the most part, it was standing on your own, right? And there was a certain amount of respect that went with that. And I would go as far as to say, especially in the African American community, obviously, that a lot of that type of respect has been lost.
Well, it's bad for African Americans when the African American leaders call on the Muslims.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's dire straits if that happens. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they have this perception, and I guess it was rightly earned from the Nation of Islam days, but they have this perception of us that we're the saviors, we're the rescuers.
Right. Yeah. Man.
And they act on those bad misconceptions.
Right. Terrible misconceptions. And what I see as the major problem is the desire to be saved, but not the desire to do the things that are necessary, that you don't put yourself in the position to be saved again.
Mm.
And you can't lead those people. It's like Imam Talib would say half the time, and you too, Adam, if they would only listen. I'm not coming to save you every other month or every other political cycle or whatever, economic cycle. Can't do it if every time that I help you get back on your feet, you go right back to destructive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And, as much money as flows through the hands of African Americans in this country, man, come on. there should be buffers against politics, economics, you name it. There should be buffers, not buffers against dislodgement, distress, poverty, these things. Just from what we rightfully earn, it gets reported. Just from that, there should be enough buffers to sustain us. The fact that they're not is demonstrably bad behavior with the resources that we're given.
Right.
And poor leadership. I mean, that's a whole 3 day conversation about leadership and what is leadership and do we have any.
We don't control what makes a person a leader. And what I mean by that, the Caucasian chooses our leader. We don't, right? And when they choose a leader, they make sure they choose one that is totally ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
Totally ineffective. And will not lead to our success at all.
So funny thought. So I was listening to one of the podcasts on the Thinking Muslim lately, and the brother who was the guest was talking about and mentioned the fact that one of the frustrating things in the West is that when they look for Islamic leadership, they don't find any one person, and it's very frustrating to them because they can't find anybody who specifically speaks for us in the West that they can co-opt. Basically, it's hard to control a group of people when you can't control their leadership, right? And I was thinking about Imam W.D. Muhammad in his life and his leadership. That if you didn't know him, if you didn't already have advanced knowledge of him, and this is based on a story of a very wealthy white man who I know who went to visit the Imam when he was living in Little Rock, Arkansas. And he flew to Little Rock. He's a real estate developer here in Dallas, very high muckety muck real estate developer, still is to this day. He flew to Little Rock because he had heard so much about Imam W.D. Muhammad that he had to meet him. So he has the address, leaves the airport in his rental car, drives to this neighborhood in Little Rock. And Imam W.D. Muhammad lived in a fairly modest house. No big mansions or, ranch style 5-bedroom, 6-bath place, nothing. Very modest residence in Little Rock. So the guy gets there, he looks around, making sure he's at the right place because he just doesn't correspond with him that he's at the place of the leader of, the Islamic community in the United States. He gets out of his car and walks up and knocks on the door. No answer. So he does what people do, go poke your head around the corner. And there's a guy standing there with a paint spray gun in his hand, painting his house. He was Imam W.D. Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy tells a story. I mean, when he told that story, he did it at one of the big interfaith things. It was an iftar, and he was talking, and he told that story. And he talked about sitting down for 4 hours and talking to the imam. And what he talked about was not the artificial projection of leadership, but what is real leadership. And Adam, I think you've mentioned this a couple of times. I've heard you say this, that you will know him or her when you see them.
Right. Right.
And that man doing a very simple but needed task, it was a picture of leadership when he said, when I first spoke to him and the way he greeted me and the look on his face and all these things, he said, I knew. And I just wanted to talk to this man for hours.
Mm.
So maybe that's overglorification. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I think a lot of times we look for bright, shiny objects. It's got to be the Eastern Star or the North Star or whatever. It's got to be bright and shiny in the sky And if we see that, that's the direction that we go without any thought. And sometimes the path is right there in front of you, but it's really simple and plain. We'll know it when we see it. And I think we shouldn't jump to conclusions or jump at opportunities to have leadership that isn't just that evident.
Mhm.
And that's very difficult. That's very difficult because I think we crave it. And it's very nice to sit in the choir and right in front of you is everything that projects leadership. You just say amen.
Yeah, but as you were telling that story, think about it. Where we heard that before. Think about where that might have been talked about before.
Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Alhamdulillah.
Yep.
You got it too, Tyler.
Yeah.
What did the Meccans say when they snuck into the Muslim camp?
Mm-hmm.
Come on with it.
Trying to kill the leader.
Mm-hmm.
They went into the camp.
They couldn't determine who the leader was, right?
They couldn't determine who the leader was.
Nope. Nope.
That's the blessing of the Prophet Muhammad. He wasn't that style of leader. They didn't know who they said, we don't know who to kill. We don't know who he is. Which one it is?
Mm-hmm.
Alhamdulillah.
All right.
Yes, sir. We don't know which one of these guys it is. Which one we kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that heightens something else too. And I think you may have said this on your program Thursday, Adam, and I'm sure you've said it before. Is when we're talking about Shurabanium, who constitutes the Shura, right?
Mhm.
Because if you could not discern the prophet from the others who were sitting with him in the tent, I would say you have a solid Shura. Where anybody in that tent has a solid understanding of the needs of the community, not just today, but into the future.
Mhm.
And all of them are thoughtful people. All of them are knowledgeable of Quran. That you could look in that tent and you could see them all sitting there and look at their faces, whether it's confidence or piety or whatever it is that you're viewing, and you wouldn't be able to tell who to address
Mhm.
as a mere president, chairman, whatever the case may be, right? You wouldn't know. You'd have to act. You have to wait till you were introduced. And I think that in and of itself too is very important when you talk about leadership circles. And the fact that most heads of companies, successful heads of companies that I've ever met, have been around, they don't talk very much. In fact, I would say 9 times out of 10, they're the last person who speaks.
Mhm.
They listen a lot,
Mhm.
right? And they probe a lot. So, I mean, and I'm sure the prophet was probably the quietest person in the room. when they came in seeking him. Probably the least imposing person. And ultimately, he's the one that was probably going to make the decision, except that one case that people keep bringing up now when they were going out to, was it Yehud, where some wanted to go out and fight and some wanted to defend the city from inside.
Get the booty.
Yeah. And the prophet listened to arguments, and then there were more people who wanted to go out and fight. So he said, okay, we're going to go out and fight. Went in, put his battle armor on, came out, and they had changed their mind. Some had talked down the others, and he said, no, decision's made. We go out. That was Shura. And even though the prophet wasn't for that decision personally, he listened to Shura and decided to go out with what was decided.
Mm-hmm.
The result was the result, but that's just a form of leadership. That it wasn't about him,
No.
even though he was a prophet of Allah. And if he said something, everybody was going to jump. That he didn't make it about himself.
It was about the process.
Exactly. Yeah.
The process moved.
Right. Yeah. So, and just get out my my polishing kit and put a shine on this group. In many cases, up to this very day, we have went with that same process. There is no dominance. There's a knowledge base. There's quiet confidence. We listen to each other. We make decisions as a unit. And to the extent that we can, we all, once a decision's been made, we put our backs into it to bring about a positive result. It's a good model.
Yep, it works.
I mean,
So I've got almost 10:30 in Dallas, which means it's almost 11:30 for most of you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we've got something else pressing, anything on anybody's mind? Rabani, you guys had a lively discussion yesterday. Quite lively discussion
yes.
yesterday. I mean, what are your feelings almost 24 hours to the little over 24 hours afterwards?
Well, DeLacy, he said he said, man, he gave me a little tug of my shirt, and man, we got to be careful. I said, man, I said, no, I respect that, because I know that the situations in the people's minds now, they are not in most of them not. In most cases, just about all cases, they are not in control of their good rational senses.
Right.
So, but no, I told him, I said, listen, when we speak on these subjects, we have to speak it from the language of the Quran and the life model of Muhammad the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. I said, we do that, and we do that, we achieve two things. We achieve obedience to God, and we achieve a language. The language would be placed in the environment that they will have, because their main objective is to counter your language.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to think about what you say, and then they have to do some research, And I'm saying, that's our dawah. That's the way we have to to do our dawah in an environment that's heightened in terms of it's on fire, I should say, emotional. So we know the plan. The imam already explained it. He said years ago, he said, I don't know how many people remember, he said that there's going to come a time when the Zionists or Jacobites would be creating the problems, and their consultants, the Jacobite consultants, will be there to present the solution. So either way, you're going to get, they're going to try to capture the attention of the masses of the people. And sure enough, look at it, you know. And so this is our position when we speak on a subject matter. And then I just tell them to refer to the Quranic chapter called a kiss. I think it's the pronunciation. I'm not too the pronunciation. I think it's al kasa. I think it's al kasa.
Qasas,
Yes,
Al-Qasas?
yes. The 8th section talking about the ruler and how that and what the issues were almost similar to what we are confronting with now. It was I think it was Haman. It was
Yeah.
Haman, and the riches that he had. You needed several men to carry the keys to those. Okay, the keys. When we talk about the key to what? To the riches. And that was what he was striving for. And so you could, if you read, once you read that section, just read that section, and it'll tell you what you see now. So I say, and so we're just following instructions and remembering what Imam Muhammad had mentioned, radiallahu anhu, how he mentioned this and how it's playing out at this time with these events. So everyone wants to be, when you're talking about the kind of people who want to control the wealth of America, and then to put down the people who always had the solutions to save them from their own selves. This is the irony of it. But just like before, they didn't listen, and they perished. So that was my because nothing is going to happen to you unless it's the will of Allah. So the fear of being shot and killed and all that's, I mean, get out of here. If you lived in Philadelphia and Chicago and Washington, D.C. and New York City, Harlem, I don't know if there's any fear left in you to get out because there's no, we've gone through some of the most, difficult encounters with people, police, people that's in the street, and there was no, I never had that kind of fear myself, and I can't talk for everybody, but I'm always when I do get into a situation, I always try to say, okay, well, how, if it comes to the worst case scenario, what do I do? So I leave it all up to Allah, but I'm not going to back down from it, And if I do, it'll be with the intent of getting in a better position. So these are the times that we have to think about. But the main thing is to speak directly to the issue in terms of what Allah and Prophet Muhammad said and that did, and understand that how he lived and how he was successful and how he had the backing of Allah and the angels. And we go forth, light or heavy, you know. So we have many more discussions like that waiting in the wings for next week, inshallah.
Good, good. So one of the things that is mentioned in the Quran often is regarding practices and procedures. One particular thing is the order of salat
Hmm.
when you're in a stressful situation,
Exactly.
right? Right? So it
Hmm.
gives specific instruction of how to make sure that you're safe. You know, people can search that out on their own, but the instruction is there.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. And I've seen people, some of the immigrants. Uh, I call it. I don't. You know. I said, man, look. How is there no way in the world I can concentrate on making salat in a situation in an airport or some places where it's not even, you know, it doesn't, you know, you're in the street, bruh. And look, it don't call for that, okay? But because they have been taught,
Yeah.
because they were they in their country, they could make salat anywhere, you know, and nobody would bother
Yes.
them. You
Right.
see? I said, no, 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 bro. I mean, no, you don't do that around here, because and you know it. And see, the thing about it, you know it. It ain't like you. This is new to you. You know that these people are. You can't concentrate on your prayer outside in the on the corner or in the street. You can't do it. I've been through that. You can't do it, and because you don't have nothing, no mechanism set up to keep you to protect your back, and that's one of the obligations of making
Hmm.
prayer when you're at war. All right.
Yeah. Right.
So, you know, you just want to show people you valiant and that you know, man, look, come on. You know, Prince Val the Prince, what they call him, Prince Valiant, Valiant. Yeah,
Valiant. Yeah. Prince Valiant.
Valiant. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
No, bro, no. You know, this is real. This is I know what you think when you're there in your house, in your home, in your country. But bruh, uh-uh. Go on, go. You could always make up your prayer. You
Hmm.
could pray while you're walking, while you're riding, huh? But when you get into a controlled place, when you have all of all of the security apparatus in place, and when you're at home, you make your prayer properly. You see,
Yeah.
Allah knows your heart
Right.
and your intention. And look, and I know you all like to show out in front of these white people.
Yep.
Get the nerves.
That's a big part of it.
And that's all I got to say.
So
Mhm.
I say,
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, it's fun, amazing that you're saying that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does. I'm just amazed at the conversations when they come up that it's things we've been thinking on. Perhaps I know I have. And when you said that, I thought about the conversation I had yesterday, and the person was saying, I can't pray where I am because, and their living situation. I said, well, it's
Hmm.
the soul, because they were saying they couldn't get down and prostrate because, and I say, no, it's the soul that prostrates.
Exactly.
So
That's
you
it.
don't,
That's it.
nobody will ever know you're praying. You
Mhm.
just,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
He said, well, how does she act?
She said, oh, that's it. That
Yeah,
was a
that's
big
it.
relief came across her face.
Hmm. And you know another thing, this is what is just that has destroyed the Arabs from acting on righteous instruction, is because they want to befriend the Western European and American Caucasians. They want to be just like them. That's why how you don't have a sensitivity to children who are starving to death, that are under the uh, I'm talking about bombing while you're trying to get something to eat. You don't have no sensitivity. You know why? Because you know the snake itself, that creature, his sense, his sensing is in the skin. The skin is that's how he moves. But the snake, he don't have no. He cold blooded. And for what I see, I know a snake when I see a snake. If you don't have no sensitivity and your skin, and that's why Allah speaks about the skin so much in the hellfire. You know, you don't have no sensitivity while you're living now. Okay, all right. We'll give you some sensitivity, and then we'll take it away from you, and then we'll give you grow a new skin on you, so you can continually remember that you have a sense. You don't have no sensitivity when it comes to helping the poor, downtrodden, the orphans, or those who are critically sick. And you have and bought all these weapons from the West, the all these systems to detect rockets and ordinances from coming into their country, and not one of them worked.
They work, Rabani. They just turned them off. The other day,
Okay,
when
what I'm
when when
saying,
when Qatar was bombed,
yeah,
the Saudis turned their weapons systems off.
you mean the UAE, the
No, well, no, I'm talking
Qataris,
about the
Qataris.
no, the the Qataris were bombed. Doha was hit by missiles
Yes, I know.
from Israel. What I'm telling
I know.
you is Saudi Arabia turned off their early warning systems and missile intercept systems. They turned them
Hmm.
off.
Well,
Of course, I mean, everybody knows that the Saudis hate the Qataris. So, I mean,
but
but their bigger thing was they didn't want to make Israel.
well, see, that's what I'm saying. Why? Because they, why? I'll ask. Uh, I'll ask this question: Why does the Negro love the white man? That was the question we had in the Nation of Islam, and the answer was
He
because he
give you
gives
nothing.
them nothing.
Give you nothing.
Because he gives them nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The more nothing he gives you, the more you love him. And that is the situation with the what we call wealthy Arabs. I'm talking about material wealthy Arabs.
Mm-hmm.
And right across the street, people are starving in Sudan.
Oh yeah,
It's right across
and
the street.
everything that's keeping them under the thumb in Sudan is being sold by the UAE.
Yes. And the Negro leaders that are perpetuating this are sold out. They bought them out for that about $2.50. Yes, that's the net worth.
Well,
Basically, yeah, basically,
$2.50.
uh,
yeah,
uh,
Oh,
back in
I
those,
forgot. I forgot. $2.50 and a white European woman with
yeah.
blonde hair.
Well, a different one every week.
Shit, man. No, They that angel. That's their angel. They ain't
And
gonna no, what you talking
they
about?
no, dude, Rabani, I'm gonna tell you, they run through those women so fast, they got to get a new one in every week.
They're and look, and I hate to say it, but most of them prefer young children,
Yes, they
pedophile.
do. Yes, they
Mhm.
do.
Males, males.
Now you're talking about
And
Afghanistan.
there's something I can't say because I don't have eyewitness. I didn't eyewitness it, and I didn't. I only could verify it through hearsay, and I don't want to say it, but it's
well,
something that might shake your knees.
I'm
I
glad you
doubt
said
it.
you. I'm glad you say you wasn't an eyewitness to it. I'm glad you
That's
said
Exactly.
that.
right. Because I probably no. If it was, I wouldn't be here.
That's right.
I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be here
You
because
either be dead
uh,
or locked
oh
away.
Yeah, that's probably no. I probably have my head cut off. You
Yeah.
you remember the conflict at the Haram Sharif in the early late 70s,
Mm-hmm.
late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got over there in 82.
You talking about with shooting up the masjid?
Yes, yes.
As a matter of fact, I was over there in
Hmm.
1980. I was performing Umrah,
Yes.
and I saw the bullet holes, brother.
Yeah, you saw them there. Yeah, yeah, they still they oh yeah, they were there. I was only actually I knew the brother whose brother was involved in it. This was African American brother from Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent in the French troops to flush out the the rebellion. But some of the reasons why they had done that is because of what was happening in the lower levels of the Harlem. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it like that, okay?
Gotcha.
Because I didn't see it. But anyway, they put up a ferocious fight, and when the Saudis couldn't handle it, they called in the French troops
Right.
to drown to put. First of all, they flooded the basement areas, and then they stuck high voltage lines in the water to get to electrocute who's ever in there. And those who came out, they had weekly executions at different parts of the country, beheadings.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then from then on, I guess they and they were American. There were some American Muslims. I mean, brothers from the states who were involved in it in terms of following that particular persuasion. And this is what happened. So I know the brother who was in. He was going to the Mahad Loga Arabia at the time at Al Qura. So and I just listen, and I'm listening. And I just take notes. And I said, well, I understand now. And the Saudis, the people, they were sincere in terms of wanting to keep the holy precincts, um, purified, man. You don't bring that stuff in here. That's why you don't. Muslims are only allowed in the holy precincts because when they come in, if they're not Muslim, then you got a problem. You know, I saw not well, it was a judicial excuse my language, ass whooping, and it was in Taif. I had a class. I had a class of Saudi students that I had been teaching Islamic architecture, and we were they, we saw the black vans come and pull up in the center square. I said, "Oh, look like they're getting ready to do some chop chop." So it was some Caucasian people from Europe and some Arabs, and it wasn't. I think normally they would have probably cut their head off, but since there was a lot of Europeans in it, they put them out there in public and whooped their behinds with that palm frond, that that branch of a palm tree that's real tough, and they went from the ankles all the way up to the head, pop, 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 and then up and down, and they was doing the shimmy shimmy cocoa pop, and I'm telling you, they and you know why they did it? Because they were making alcohol and drinking it and sharing it, you see.
Mm,
That was the charge. And alcohol was just almost equivalent. Now, drugs, you don't have no say in it. You just gone, okay? But alcohol, you get a whipping at that time. So, yeah. So these are those people, those young brothers. They wanted to maintain a, a degree of decorum for the religion, and none of those things. Some of the things that they say that they have been doing there, it was totally without. Like I said, I didn't see it, so I don't know. I can't say, but I
mm-hmm,
did see the whooping,
mm-hmm.
and I did hear the hollering when the palm from hit them. They hollered like a panther. Uh,
Let the hit dog holler.
that's right. That's right. So anyway, those are some of the things that we talk about when we have our discussion. I would love to convey some of those incidents, but we don't have that much time,
Right.
So, and these are incidents that most people don't know about because it never gets outside of outside of Harlem or the Medina. I got into a fight. I got in a fight with uh, somebody hit my son. Uh, he was going to school, and my kids come running home to me and say, Dad, this man hit Rashid, and because the girls, they were going to jump jump on them. They were always together in terms of fighting, and so they called me. I guess this guy, it was a school that was run by Pakistanis, and the guy who was there, his son had stuck Rashid with a pencil, a sharp pencil, and Rashid dusted him up, and he didn't think somebody's going to come back on him, but Rashid, no, he jacked him up, see, and then he runs to his father and tells him, oh, this boy hit me, and he's crying and stuff, And so his father comes down and grabs Rashid and tries to shake him down. And my daughters, they came to get me. And I said, oh, here we go. And then as soon as I got there, uh, they pointed the man out to me, and he saw them pointed, and he started running. Now, at that time, I was what? Tajideen I was about 45, 50 years old. I said, man, I was in tip top shape. I was in terms of track and working out, and I caught him. I caught him maybe a block up, and I ran him down and threw him up against a gate, and uh, stretched him out. Now, I didn't draw no blood on him, but I threw him up against that iron gate, and that was enough to get the message. Because I didn't want to go beyond that. Okay, that was enough to equalize it. So I said, here I am coming to Mecca, street fighting. I said, boy, I said, let me get out of here. So those are some of the incidents, and then also in front of the Prophet's memorial up in Medina, the guard grabs my wife's kimar because it fell down. That was when my baby boy Tajideen pulled it. Baby pulling the kimar scar while she's carrying it, right? And the hair showed. And here come this uh what they call a religious policeman, and tried to get up because see they thought because I was uh, one color and my wife is another color, that they could just say whatever they wanted. They thought I was the Ethiopian or Sudanese or some other other than a full blooded now I wouldn't say Arab, because most of the Arabs are the mix of Ethiopian and East African and Arab, almost like Yemenis. And but the other ones who think themselves to be better than you are the ones who were mixed with the Turkish during the Ottoman period, you know. And so that's that they think that they're the best because they're more European. So I almost got into it with him, and some of the believers who spoke English kind of got in between, because I was gonna, you know, I mean, because they do that. They like um, to show their bravo among the African people, if they catch them on the street selling, you know, and they put them in a little pickup truck like a bunch of animals. I said, no, man, this is wrong. So there are many incidents that I've had in Mecca and in Medina that Allah blessed me not to get involved too deep with them, you know. So this is what happened in those cities, because you know they show the world one thing, but those who live there know, and those who know won't tell.
Yeah, that's why.
Go ahead, Adam.
Go ahead, Evan.
No, I was just going to say that I understand why they behave the way that they do on home turf,
Mm-hmm.
but I really and truly think that we do a disservice to them by not calling them out when they're doing similar things here in the
Mm-hmm.
United States of America. That we're allowing them to perpetrate actions that are non-Islamic while they're supposedly representing our faith. And I think we need to do a much better job. We can do it quietly, pull them to the side, of letting them know that the actions, whether that they're in, you know, when they're interacting with us, or if you see them interacting in the wrong way amongst themselves. They call it cultural. And I don't care about cultural if it's wrong,
That's
Yeah,
right.
right? Is
yeah,
that they need to be corrected, and somebody needs to put them on notice that certain behaviors are not going to be acceptable. And definitely when you're interacting with us
Mm-hmm.
in the community and around masjids and things like that, that you got to let them know this is
Oh
not
yeah,
acceptable.
you
and
see.
and
Go ahead.
I do. I would say I do that, brother. I mean, I got them as clients,
Mm-hmm.
and this one guy, he's like the leader of this one clique of Yemenis. He's the financier and everything. So if you make him
Mm-hmm.
mad, I might make all my clients mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he had an employee call me about their W-2.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to explain to her, it didn't work. So the next day, it's a Caucasian female. She come into my office. She had I assume it was her husband. And I'm in my office, but I hear some noise in the back, and I hear a W-2, and I said, that's the same lady. So I went out there and tried to explain to her, look, if you're going to your W-2, there's nothing I can do. It's already filed, you know. So I had to invite them back to my office because she was making a scene and had other clients walking in. So he came back, the male friend came back with her, and I tried to explain to her again. So eventually I got through to him, and he said, no, he's right. And her whole demeanor changed. So
Mm-hmm.
we had a kumbaya moment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they get up to leave, and I'm looking at the guy, he was strapped. I said, yeah, I could have got crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been dead.
Got more crazy,
So
but that's okay. Mm-hmm.
But here, I'll make it quick. I called the Yemeni brother. So he came by the office. And I told him, I said, man, don't never, first of all, I'm just an accountant. I don't exist to your employees. Second of all, don't send a Caucasian you got a problem with to my office. You understand? Especially with a husband or whatever. I said, you don't know our history. But don't do that. And and I said, brother, you need to learn our history. I said, as a matter of fact, you need to treat your customers better,
Mm-hmm.
especially the African American customers. I said, the next time you have an African American customer you want to disrespect, look at his head and just picture my head on his body. That's me. But for the grace of Allah, I was like that.
That's right.
But Allah made me Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
I gave a piece of my mind, and I put my hand up, and I looked up, and he was still there. I said, "Oh, good. I ain't losing him."
Yeah. Yeah. Really, they know about the African American Muslim.
Oh yeah,
Now the ones that's highly respected are the Muslims that come out of Imam W. Muhammad's community.
no question.
Okay. And like I said, and they want to know more about how, because look, back in 75, how many masjids do you think was in America? Huh? And then after 1975 until now, I'm talking about tremendous masjids everywhere. You Google, if you're in a small town somewhere, and especially East Coast and Central America, you'll find a place, house of worship, a masjid, just about anywhere that you would think that there would never be a masjid.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because of our efforts. Our efforts made it comfortable for the immigrants to build their masjid in the white neighborhood. Excuse me. They wouldn't build it down in Frog Hollow. Yeah, they be looking for a place, and then where they can get the maximum amount of resistance. And I tell them, I said, look, man, you wanna make a great impact. You go, you'll find the land is cheaper. The people, if you hopefully you don't allow these people to sell all these alcohol and pork and stuff to our people, I guarantee you would have great protection and respect, because they know what we do as Muslims in America. So they are very well qualified to judge you. So you go down there and you hire some of the African American girls, and then you impregnate them, and then you're selling alcohol, you're selling lotto tickets, and you're not treating the people. You're not supposed to be eating pork or selling it. So and the people know that because we've been teaching them for damn near 30 years, since 1930, 32. You see? So it behooves you to be, and then when you get some, when you want to buy a piece of property, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna increase it by 10 times. And then they're going to stop you. They're going to put in new zoning laws, and then they're going to deny you permitting that cause you to build the project is say $1 million. Now it's going to be 10. So that's the long and short of it, man. I know you guys got to go, and I got to go. So
Yeah, it is about that time. It is 11:01 here, so it's a little afternoon for you guys. I just wanted to say this one thing, and then I'll ask Imam Adam, to close us out. The one thing that I noticed, and I especially noticed this was pre-COVID, and my office was downtown Dallas, which made it sometimes difficult to get out and go to Harwood for Juma on Fridays. But there was a group of downtown Muslims that met at Thanksgiving Square here uh, for Juma prayer. And there was a rotation of imams, usually not very knowledgeable men who had volunteered from different masjids around the city to come in, but mostly uh, Arabs and Asians who were in engineering or financial services or something like that constituted both men and women of the group that would meet in that facility. And there's maybe 60 or 70 people on any given Friday who would, this was the lunch break, whatever you want to call it, kind of thing. And I remember when I first started attending that, when I heard about it, and then I said, I'm gonna go check it out. So it's a long way around the saying that they will test your iman, right? They will throw all kinds of things at you to try to trip you up and see how knowledgeable you are about faith and different things of that nature. They will say things about African American community, and obviously, in some cases, a family member or friend or whatever is involved in a business that does what Rabani was talking about selling pork and alcohol and cigarettes and K2 and lottery tickets and everything else in our communities. And some of those people are large contributors to their masjids, right? And then they don't hide it, and they want to see what your response is to it. And this is where you have to be very stern with them. And I mean, and those of you who are better versed in Quran even than I am have to come back really strong against them, their attitude, their wanting to look down on us, which they don't usually get in my face more than once, but they tend to try to do that. And some of them end up being very good brothers and sisters. And they do truly have faith, but they've been taught that we are beneath them in faith, that we're beneath them in knowledge, that we're like their little cousin that they need to shepherd.
No,
And
like no, I would say like that, like the ones who serve them tea when they're home.
I didn't want to go there, but
Yeah,
but
I know that's a fact. And no
right,
matter where you go, that's the situation with the brown skinned boys. You know, they are only good to serve tea and
right.
clean and run around and drive them around the town when they on call all 24/7.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Quranic study, knowledge of Quran, knowledge of the Sunnah, the Imam's language. These are your swords and your body armor and everything else. And the intellect that comes with all that, uh, if you got a little backbone, will shut all that down. They're
Mm-hmm.
either going to try to become your friend, or they're going to leave you alone altogether.
And they ain't coming back.
Right. And either one of those two is a beautiful thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Be my friend or leave me alone.
You're gonna still be my friend, my brother,
Right.
until you break away.
Exactly. All right, Brother Adam. Close us out, brother.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Rabbana Ashana Fadunya Hasanatan, Wapil Akirti Hasanatan, Wakina Dabanar. O Lord, give us the best benefits in this life and the best benefits of life to come, and save us from the torment of hellfire. Amen.
Ameen.
Ameen. Thank you,
Assalamu
brothers and
alaikum.
Ameen.
sisters.
Assalamu
Walaikum
alaikum.
salam. Walaikum
Yeah,
salam.
Edward, I didn't tell you. I wanted to thank you for your input in the program yesterday. Thursday.
On Thursday. Well, we're going round 2 this coming Thursday, right?
Yeah, we're going round 2. Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Alaikum
salam.
assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam.